Hello and welcome to the Elemental Entrepreneurship Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah. Welcome. If you're here for the first time, so excited that you're here. If you are returning, welcome back. Always means so much to me that you come and listen to this show. So today I am sharing the audio from an Instagram Live that I did today. So if you'd rather watch this on Instagram, you can head on over there and check it out over there. And the topic of this conversation is about wounded child consciousness and how that shows up and sabotages us in business. Right now, I've been marketing both Best Year Yet, my exclusive one-on-one year-long mentorship program, and Powerhouse Mastermind, my small group mastermind for established entrepreneurs. And in both of these programs, a lot of the work that we're doing is deep inner work. So yes, we're doing outer work. We're doing, straightforward business strategy and how do I grow my email list and how do I get more customers and working on launches and launch plans and marketing and all of those day-to-day business things. But a big part of the work that we're doing is the work that I call inner game. And that's really about growing up the wounded child and what I call overcorrective teen parts of ourselves that are currently showing up and sabotaging the way that we run our business. And in this conversation, I dial in a little bit deeper to exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about the signature of wounded child consciousness and what that looks like when it is showing up and sabotaging our business. If you follow me on Instagram, tomorrow I'm going to do a follow-up video where I talk more about overcorrective teen and what the signature of that energy is like. So if you want to check out the second part, make sure that you're following me over there at instagram.com/intuitiveedgecoaching. And today I'm going to get into wounded child. So I hope that this is valuable for you. And if you recognize yourself in this and you're like, oh crap, that is what's going on for me. I have a lot of places where wounded child consciousness is currently making my business decisions, and I would like to shift out of that. I would love to invite you to work with me either one-on-one or in Powerhouse Mastermind. As I am posting this video, it is Tuesday, December 3rd. The doors for Powerhouse Mastermind for this round are going to close on Friday, December the 6th. So you have a few days left to get an application in. This is an application-only group. And the price for Powerhouse Mastermind is doubling next year. Right now, it is in beta. So the total price right now is $5,555, but because it's Black Friday, I'm offering you $1,000 off. So it's $4,444, and you can take up to an 8-month payment plan. So you can get the highest level of support that I offer outside of one-on-one coaching for as low as $555 a month or $225 bi-weekly. And you can apply for that using the link that I'm going to put in the show notes. If you have questions about whether or not Powerhouse is right for you, I've had some people say, am I established enough? You say established business owners. Do I count? If you have any questions about whether or not Powerhouse is the right container for you, you can always DM me on Instagram, or you can shoot me an email, intuitiveedgecoaching@gmail.com, and just feel free to ask your questions. I'll never lie to you. If it is not the right fit, I will make sure that you know that, and I will give you some alternatives, options that you might want to take instead. So I would love to have you in either of these programs, especially if as you listen to this, you feel a hit of recognition that that is a big part of what's going on with you in your business and you want to fix it, because I want to help you. All right, here we go. Launching Powerhouse Mastermind and Best Year Yet, I have been talking about how a main part of the work that I'm doing in these containers is helping us grow up wounded child consciousness places that are trying to run our business and that keep us from being able to take the type of actions we need to take to get the results that we want in business. I've been talking a lot about inner game and outer game and how this inner work, right? It's not just mindset work. It's not just nervous system work. It's specifically wounded child and what I call overcorrecting teen energy. and the ways that those particular signatures show up in our business. And I want to talk a little bit more about specifically what that means and how we address them in a coaching container. So wounded child and wounded teen or overcorrecting teen energy have very specific signatures. And today I'm going to talk about wounded child, and I think I'm going to hop back on tomorrow and talk more about the teenager so that I can keep them a little bit separate. So the signature energies of wounded child are less than, I feel unworthy, I feel inherently unworthy, I feel less than you. Exposed, and exposed can feel like everyone's going to find out, right? That can be our imposter syndrome vibe. Nobody's going to like me. It's too vulnerable. It feels dangerous to be seen. It feels defective, right? I can't do it well enough, right? Which is slightly different than I'm not enough. The texture of defective is I can't do it as good as other people do it. Everyone else does it better than me. And then we feel needy. The signature of wounded child is neediness. The wounded child is trying to perform their way into love, safety, approval, and belonging. Now, these are core needs. We need love, safety, approval, and belonging. We cannot get rid of those needs. It's not bad to have those needs, but we cannot actually people please or perform our way into them. So our wounded child has these adaptive strategies that it's created from experiences in our life, in our childhood, where we have learned that we have to behave a certain way, we have to act a certain way in order to get love, approval, safety, and belonging. Now, everyone has this. It doesn't go away. We don't magically one day have no wounded child parts. As far as I know, that's not a thing. They just keep showing up. And I can tell you my parents are in their 70s and they frequently talk to me about stuff now, which is really cool, that's going on for them with their art or with their creative process that has signature of wounded child or overcorrecting teen in it. And this just is part of being a human. And it's okay. We want to love those wounded child parts of us and nurture them and take care of them. What we don't want them to do is be in the C-suite of our business. We don't want to give them the obligation, the duty to run our business for us. That is not an appropriate place for a little 6-year-old to be. So what that can look like in business, what wounded child can look like in business financially is lowering your prices or dropping your prices when you're worried, oh, this is going to be too expensive. People aren't going to like it if I charge what I need to charge, or even not setting prices and doing everything by donation. I've encountered spiritual business owners who are making money, but they have no set prices and everything is just negotiated one-on-one with whoever shows up. Undercharging to the point that you're not actually making enough money to get by in your business. You have to keep a day job. You have to keep a side hustle because you're not charging enough in your business to make the money that you need to make. It can look like not looking at your numbers or your budgets or your financial needs because you get so dysregulated about money and finances. It can get you into desperation about money. And that can lead to saying yes to nightmare clients that you don't want to work with, that you know are not the right fit, but you feel like you have to say yes to them because you feel like you have to take whatever you can get. So that's financial signature of wounded child energy showing up in your business. So what that means is you've got this little wounded child in the position of CFO, trying to make your CFO decisions. What should I do financially? Where should I set my prices? What kind of software should we be using for budgeting? How are we doing our taxes? I've got a 6-year-old in charge of that. Would you do that? Is that a good idea? Unless they are a little baby Doogie Howser, a little financial wizard. Is that what we want in our business? Or do we want to let that kid go play so that we, the adult, can show up and handle the finances? In your marketing, wounded child can look like being too nice, being watered down, being so bland in your messaging because you want to appeal to everyone. You don't want to offend anybody. You don't want to be too vulnerable or really share anything with your audience because, again, you feel exposed. It feels too dangerous. It can be not wanting to post at all because you don't want anyone to see you because you don't want to get teased. You don't want to get bullied. You don't want to deal with anyone not liking you. So now we've got our wounded child as our CMO. Wounded child as chief marketing officer. All the decisions about marketing are being made by a scared elementary school kid who just got picked on. Is that who we want to be in charge of the marketing department
of our business? Or do we want to hug that kid and say, hey, I'm really sorry that happened to you. You get to go play. I can handle this. The adult can handle this. In the behind the scenes of your business, wounded child energy can look like endlessly comparing yourself to others. Scrolling on social and you're seeing your peers and you're thinking, that person's so much better than me. Their programs are so much better than mine. They're going to make more money than me. I could never do what they're doing. This could never be me. It can look like changing your strategy constantly based on what other people are doing because you think other people must know something that you don't know. It can look like fully falling apart or going into fawning or people pleasing if a client says that they're unhappy, or if someone asks for a refund, or if you have a difficult moment with a client. We've got wounded child now as CEO. So now we've got wounded child as CFO, CMO, CEO. Is that who we want making the decisions in our business? When we're in our adult energetic signature, we are very clear that we are just as worthy as anyone else. No human is better or worse than any other human. We are all inherently worthy by virtue of being alive on the planet, and we feel grounded in that knowledge. When we're in our adult, we have healthy boundaries around our money, around our time, around what we're willing to do and not do, around what type of behavior we're willing to tolerate from clients and from other people. When we are in our adult, we are realistic about our skills and our abilities. I know I'm not the best at everything. I'm also not the worst at everything. I know there's some things I'm really good at and other things I need help for, and I'm completely open to that, and it doesn't make me feel bad about myself because that's a normal thing to be, is good at some stuff and not at others, and I can just get the help I need. Not a big deal. We are grounded and clear and neutral about money, about sales, about other people's perceptions on the internet. That's what it feels like when we're in our adult place, right? I want you to think about, especially if you are a parent, but just being around little kids, as an adult, the things that upset and freak a little kid out don't upset you and freak you out in the same way. You're able to guide and love that child through this difficult moment and say, I know this thing is really scary. I know this thing is really upsetting, but you don't have to be afraid because I'm here and I can protect you and I can handle it. We can do this together. The nervous system signature of wounded child is freeze and fawn. It's our dorsal vagal states. So when we're in that state, when we're in a dorsal vagal state, we are either fully shut down, we're frozen, or we're going into our people-pleasing behavior. I'll just go along with whatever you want. I'll give you whatever you want to make this better. It's a shut down place. And when we're in either of our dorsal vagal states or our sympathetic state, which we're going to talk about more when we get into teenager, we don't have access to creativity, clarity, enthusiasm, problem solving. The things we need as a CEO to make clear, productive decisions. I don't love the word productive, but in this case, I'm going to use it, right? Like, okay, I have a challenge. I have a problem. I need to make a series of decisions to move me from this problem to a solution. And if I'm in my dorsal vagal state or my sympathetic state, I don't have access to my creativity, to my clarity, to my enthusiasm, to my problem solving, to my more problem solving brain ability. I don't have access to it. My nervous system has shut that down. I'm pumping the energy away from my brain, the blood away from my brain and into my limbs so that I can be fast and dumb. I don't need to be fast and dumb as the CEO of my business. I need to be deliberate. I need to be clear. I need to be creative. And we can only do that in ventral vagal, right? When our body, when our nervous system feels safe, calm, able to engage socially. That's where I need to be. So the work that I do with my clients, when I say it's inner game and outer game at the same time, we get so much more nuanced into these archetypes, not just wounded child and overcorrecting teen, but there are other archetypes that we use that have very specific signatures so that not only can I tell when you're in one of those spaces, but you start being able to tell. So you're like, oh shit, I am in wounded child right now about this problem that I'm having in my business, about this communication I had with this client, about this decision I'm trying to make about where to price. I can see myself showing up in wounded child. I know what it feels like. I know what the texture of it is. And I know what I need to do to shift it, to bring myself back into my adult state where I'm able to make creative decisions. One of my gifts is that I can really spot this, like even when it's really, really sneaky and really insidious, and sometimes it is, because you may have done a lot of mindset work and a lot of nervous system work and a lot of inner work already. Most of my clients have. But there's just an ability that I have to see the energetic signature of when we're in one of those places. And then the tools that I use in terms of NLP, somatic work, breath work, even just calling attention to the archetype or doing some journaling prompts. There's really specific ways that I have of pulling on that thread and being like, that word that you said right there, let's go there. Let's investigate that. That's where we find, okay, I'm in wounded child around this. I need to clean this up. And we can do that shift really quickly and move you into a more adult problem-solving space. This is really necessary because any strategy is only as good as the nervous system of the body that has to execute the strategy. So if I tell you, I think we need to consider raising your prices because you're not making your financial needs. If you're in wounded child and you're going into, no one's ever going to pay that. Nobody's going to trust me if I charge that much. Other people don't charge that much. How can I be sure that I can charge that much? I don't think I'm good enough to charge that much. I need more training if I'm going to charge that much, right? All of this stuff comes up. If you're by yourself, you have a tendency to believe wounded child, right? Wounded child is now the CFO, the chief financial officer. Wounded child is saying, we cannot charge that much. Nope. And you're like, okay, I take my orders from you. Wounded child says we can't, so we can't. We need to dethrone these parts of ourselves and get them out of the C-suite and get them out on the playground where they belong so that we can bring our adult self into our business decision making. And that sometimes just takes an outside eye, the right framework, and a little bit of work to catch where these places are showing up. Again, sometimes they're very, very subtle, and being able to quickly shift them so that we can start taking the actions that are aligned with getting us toward our results. And that's a major part of the work that I do with all of my private clients and inside Powerhouse Mastermind. I wanted to share with you something that a client recently emailed me. It is a really good example of how this work stays in the system of my clients. This is someone I'm not even working with privately anymore. And they said, I had a business colleague show up in what I could tell right away was teenager energy. I so wanted to go into my child space and people please to solve it, but I was able to catch myself and show up as my adult. If this was a few years back, I would have just been sobbing and doing whatever she told me instead of sticking up for myself, staying calm, and navigating us out of the situation. There are so many important results in my coaching work that are not just financial. In coaching, it is so common to see people posting financial results. And financial results are important, right? The bottom line when you're coming to a business coach is, do I believe you're going to help me make more money? We can look at all of the other facets that you're going to get out of coaching, but really when we sign up for a program in business, it's, do I believe this person can help me make more money? Are they going to help me with the systems that are going to help me make more money? The strategies that are going to help me make more money? What do I believe about this person that's going to help me make more money? That is important. And our left logic brain really wants to believe that the only things that make us more money are systems and our strategy, and those things are important. But the other thing that makes us more money is our consistent ability to show up as our fully healed whole. We're never fully healed, but our adult space in our business, to bring our powerhouse CEO archetype, to bring our magnetic marketing archetype, to bring our financial maven archetype to our business, to get those parts of ourselves in our C-suite, making the decisions that need to be made to keep everything moving forward. And so to have a client say far after their ability to, or far after their time working with me, their ability to catch other people, because that's another thing that happens as you do this work. You don't just recognize it in yourself, you recognize it in others, and it makes dealing with others so much easier because you're like, okay, I see you're showing up to me in wounded child right now. Do I want to engage with you as child? Do I want to go into my teenager and fight you? Do I want to go into child and fawn? No, I don't. If a child is having a tantrum, I go into my adult and I'm able to navigate and help them and help me. To have a client say that long after their time working with me, they're still able to check these things, see these things happening in real time and shift, and they're getting different outcomes with people than they've ever gotten before as a result of this work is a huge coaching win. This is a huge result. To have the experience that situations in business that used to shut you down, make you cry, make you overwhelmed, make you spacey, right? I've had a lot of clients say with numbers, like, I can't even look. I get so overwhelmed. My brain gets foggy. I used to have that. My brain gets foggy and I can't tell what's happening. To have those things clear up and have this person say, oh, I'm going through something right now that a year ago would have made me cry, would have shut me down, would have brought me into overwhelm, would have shut my nervous system down. And I was just able to catch that and navigate myself through as an adult. That is a huge shift, a huge transformation. That's what I mean when I say we're growing up wounded child places inside of you so that you can show up to your business as your whole healed adult conscious self in more and more and more situations. That's a big part of the work that we're doing, again, both in my one-on-one containers and in Powerhouse Mastermind. Tomorrow I'm going to hop on and I'm going to talk a little bit about the energetic signature of the teenager. And before I hop off, if you have any questions about this, if this was insightful for you, if you're like, oh, wounded child is a main place that I spend a lot of time, throw that in the comments. I would love to hear from you about those things. And the doors for Powerhouse Mastermind are closing on Friday. And again, in case you haven't seen it, Powerhouse Mastermind right now is in beta pricing. The pricing for this mastermind is going to double in 2025. So right now it's $5,555 for a 6-month mastermind. But also because it is Black Friday week, my Black Friday sale, it's $1,000 off of that. And there's an option to take an 8-month payment plan. So you can get into Powerhouse for as low as $555 a month or $225 bi-weekly. And if you have questions about whether or not it's right for you, whether or not your business is established enough, that kind of stuff, if you're not sure whether or not this is the right program for you, shoot me a DM on Instagram or email me, intuitiveedgecoaching@gmail.com. Once again, I will never sell you anything that you don't need. I don't want you in the wrong room any more than you want to be in the wrong room. So if we determine that Powerhouse is not the right fit for you, if I have something else that's a better fit, I'll let you know. If there is someone else that I think is a better fit for you as a coach, I will refer you to someone else. I always want you to get the help that you need, whether it is from me or not. I'm not just here for you to buy stuff you don't need. I want you to get a next level transformation that changes your life. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that that happens, whether it's with me or with somebody else. Love you so much. Go thrive.
That's our episode for today. Thank you, as always, for being here and for listening to the podcast. I know there are so many things that you could be doing with your time, so many things you could be listening to. It is an honor that you choose to be here. Connect with me on Instagram @IntuitiveEdgeCoaching. Have a great day.